The first park we went to was Valley of the Fire. It is in Nevada and it's about an hour away from Vegas. Vegas is where we flew in from Omaha. It is an amazing park, has a desert-like atmosphere, lots of red, brown rock formations. We enjoyed getting out of our car and seeing just the different structures that the park has to offer. We didn't tour the entire park. We could have spent hours and hours there, but we were kind of on a schedule. We did, however, stop and take a mile-long hike. The hike was to the waves. There were a lot of people that climbed high up on the top of the hills. We're not as adventurous as they are, but it was still a really, really cool hike that we took. And here is just a little bit of the waves, and you can kind of see people high up, but just a really, really cool park. I'm glad we made the extra trip, and this is just us leaving the park and heading to Zion, our next stop on our adventure. I can't even begin to describe how magnificent Zion National Park was. We went on a beautiful weekend in February. Sometimes they have snow. We just got really lucky and the weather was perfect. We did a few small hikes right when we first got there before the sunset. You can kind of see the sun's going down. Our first little walk was on the river walk, just kind of checking out of the park before we lost our light. We decided to stay right in Zion so we could have access to some of the things that we wanted to see. Here's our lodge room. We just got a standard hotel room. Not extremely fancy, but it was good enough for us. We really didn't spend a lot of time in there, except for really sleeping. If you know me, we went to bed at like 8:20 because there were some long days, lots of travel. The roads are pretty windy. If you know me, again, I don't like driving on windy roads, so Sean kind of took over the driving responsibilities. But every time we turned around, there was just something new to see. It was quite spectacular. We didn't do a lot of hiking in Zion, but this particular morning we woke up to do the observation hike. It's a mile out and back. It was kind of a dangerous hike, but we did okay. At the end, this is the view we could see over a lot of the park. Not all of it, but it was just still a really cool hike. There were a lot of areas where you just look down and it's a long drop down, but sometimes they had railings to help so you wouldn't just fall off the cliff. But I'm glad we did it. It was a really peaceful hike, a really nice hike, and really one of my favorite things that we did in Zion. If you look closely, you will see a bighorn sheep. He's posing for us on the top of a little hill. I didn't get it on video, but there was actually quite a few sitting right behind him. We headed 2 hours north to Bryce Canyon. As you can see, there's a little bit of snow on the ground, but the weather was absolutely perfect for a day of sightseeing. The roads were clear, so we had no problems traveling to all the things we wanted to see. We didn't do any hikes at this park. We did see some people hiking. That was just nothing on our agenda. My favorite part was the stop with this arch. I just thought that was really cool. Sean's actually making a picture of that and putting it on his office wall. It was just a really cool park, and I'm really glad we took the time to drive up to see it. Here is a little view of just a few cool little tunnels that we had to go through. There was actually quite a few tunnels that we went through in Zion and in Bryce. Just really kind of fun stuff. After that, we headed back to Zion, and right before sunset, we went to the Emerald Pools. It was a nice, easy stroll. There's some deer. They didn't really care if we were right next to them. No, we did not pet them or feed them, but I think they're used to people. But it was kind of cool to see. There was a whole bunch down there. We weren't too impressed with the Emerald Pools, but I'm glad we went just to see what it had to offer. We could have kept on going, but we decided to turn around before we lost our light. This is a view from our lodge. It just kind of has a big open park area. On our way back, we stopped at the coral pink sand dunes. That was cool. And we went to Kanab real quick and ran into a balloon festival. After the balloon festival, we headed back to Vegas and visited the Lake Mead and Hoover Dam. Don't have any video, but it was a fun, fun trip.